Hi, everyone. I just wanted to touch base really quickly and show you another example of an essay in MLA format and talk about sources and citing sources. It's not going to be long. I just wanted to kind of touch base before those rough drafts, well, while you're in the process of writing your rough draft. Okay, sharing my screen and we're going to jump forward here. All right, this is actually an essay I pulled off of that same wonderful MLA.org. It's basically MLA Style Center. So MLA Handbook Style Center. It's one of those that they choose per year. This is MLA format, okay? We have the author's name, student author. We have the professor. So we always call the teacher professor, even if they go by their Dr. Jones or Dr. Gomez, it's still professor. We have the class, is expository writing, and we have the date. The date is expressed as 25 October 2019, or day, month spelled out, and then the year. Month doesn't have to be spelled out. It actually can be abbreviated. It's not, that's okay. Okay, so we go straight here. I want to kind of point out her thesis statement, which I really like. Remember, the thesis statement should tell the next researcher or your readers what your paper will be doing, what you will be discussing in the pages to come. I think of it this way. It's kind of like your reader doesn't want to take the time to read the whole paper. They should be able just to read that thesis statement and know specifically what you are going to cover. So this is a great example of what will be covered. So let's read it together. The incorporation, make this a little bigger so you can see it better. The incorporation of diverse perspectives, comma, opinions, comma, and experiences should be considered so the master narrative of the war may be widened, eventually becoming a more nuanced one. Now, it's a great example of a thesis. We know exactly what she's going to be covering in the pages to come. Now, mind you, we don't know master narrative of the war. Well, we would actually need to read the sentence before. So this is almost a two-sentence thesis, but the war is actually the American War and the Vietnam War. And we see that actually from the title, the Vietnam War, the American War in literature, film, and popular memory. But let's go ahead and just jump into citations. It doesn't bother me if you want to use this, name your source in the sentence, or if you want to use an in-text citation. The most important thing is to always identify where your words stop and your source's words take over. In other words, we need to know where your information comes from, okay? This is a great example. We have the next paragraph. In Nothing Ever Dies, Vietnam and the Memory of War, Viet Thanh Nguyen, an American writer who has emerged as an indispensable voice in ethnic studies and literature, reminds the public that, quote, all wars are fought twice, comma, the first time on the battlefield, the second time in memory, end quote. 4. So you notice those are the two components that we need in MLA. We need the last name of the author. And here we've actually spelled it out because in MLA, it's always good form to spell out the full name the first time. But Viet Thanh Nguyen, we need that last name. And then we have page 4, just 4. Note, this is not APA. In APA, we would need the date and we'd need a comma and we'd have the little abbreviated P right there for page. We don't need that in MLA, all right? I like to say that MLA is date-free, comma-free, and P period free, or P-free, but, use it, P period, okay? So if you think of it that way, again, we have another great example right here. On this notion, Huy Tam Ho Tai, author of The Country of Memory, Remaking the Past in Late Socialist Vietnam, states that whole section right here is a signal phrase. This is a great example. It's kind of long, but in there we're stating exactly who the author is, and then we're telling where it was published, and then we have the verb states. They don't have to use states. They can use asserts, suggests, discusses, explains, whatever verb you choose to put in there. States is like a nice, good default verb. You can't go wrong with states. If you want to be more original, explains, summarizes, suggests, asserts. Just go onto thesaurus.com, see what comes up, and let it fit, obviously. And then we have right here, page number right after the quote. So we know what page it is on. So this is Ty is the author and page 3. Now, if we go on this, so in this way, this author is naming the source right there in the sentence. When the page number goes after, again, it doesn't have to be that way. But let me show you one more example. So this is an example of many authors together. And we have here on the significance of cultural trauma, the scholar Ron Ironman and his colleagues state that cultural trauma is a, quote, discursive response to a tear in the social fabric occurring when the foundations of an established collective identity are shaken by one or a series of seemingly interrelated occurrences, end quote, and that's 13, okay? Again, we're using the authors in the sentence and we're using the page number right after that direct quote. Again, it works with a summary or paraphrase also. I want to scroll down here to Coppola. We have a wonderful example of just an actual summarized statement. So this right here is, we see that name Coppola. This is referring to Francis Ford Coppola, the director. And that's actually a statement that is explained, and we're putting we're citing the author right there after it. So we're not using Coppola explains or Coppola suggests or Coppola writes. It's actually a film, and he talks about midway through the film, we see a sampan full of Vietnamese civilians massacred in a botched mission. So we are citing the film. We're giving the director credit because the director wrote the shot. He took the shot with the film. They're taking they decide on what angle to use the camera, what lighting, and what, how they're going to have it go pan in, a sampan in, out, So we're giving him credit there. We could also do it in the sentence itself. If we put it in the sentence, we wouldn't need the in-text citation. Notice there is no page number, it's a film. So basically we just have the author's last name, Coppola, okay? And finally, we see another example of this in the very bottom where we see the actual article right here, speak, and we have the page 25, okay? So yeah, so those are two different ways, and it's fine, both are correct. Some have a preference. To be honest, you just need to be very clear. So just as long as we can tell where your words stop and where your sources start. And again, remember, all the sources that you name should have a corresponding entry right here. So we have the ones we just saw, that we have a win right here. So the next reader or researcher would be able to go, oh, here we are, here's this information. And in that way, our research lives on because the next person will take over, take the torch, and they will continue on because they can see exactly where your information came from, and they can go ahead and expand on that. So that's kind of the exciting part about research. Research is always alive. We're always writing. Our audience in academic writing is we're writing for the next researcher, okay? The academic community, students, professors, maybe scientists, in every field, okay? Everything from English to biology to astrophysics to literature or whatever you're studying. Anyway, hope this helps. Have a great day and let me know if you have questions. All right.